Hello, YouTube world. My name is Anastasia. I'm the CEO and founder of the Sage Dynasty, located in Houston, Texas. This is the third entry of our mental health awareness piece, focusing on domestic violence for the month of May. Thank you for watching, and if you have not, like, share, and subscribe, and all of those cool things. So we're gonna jump right into it today, okay? So last week, I talked about early childhood and early adolescence and what that looks like for me. And I want to go back and rehash that topic because it's so broad. There's so many things that I could say, and so many ways to say it, right? So last week I kind of did an entry into what childhood in my home looked like and what it felt like, and I wanted to talk about a few people who may have who definitely came into my life and changed a few things. So I guess I'll start with school and how that how my home life affected my school life. Yeah, we'll go there. So I was always seen as a shy kid, and I still am. This is very hard for me, so be patient, you know. But I feel like the story is definitely worth sharing, and I have obligated myself to change, and I'm definitely going to do that. So peer interaction at school was a bit different because I didn't know if people knew what was going on in my household. I knew that the environment that I was growing in was not the best, and I was not ashamed of it, at least not early on, because kids don't know shame. However, I didn't understand it either. So it would be oftentimes when I would go into school and I'd be, hungry, maybe didn't eat enough from the night before. And one of those times in particular, I took my concern to my teacher, who in turn sent me to a counselor. I got to the counselor and I told her what was going on in my home life, and it wasn't good. Now, in the moment that I was in prior to my introduction into this school, I was in a different state with my maternal grandparents, and they had decided that they wanted to move on with life, and they placed me back into the care of my mother. And when I moved back in with her, things were just, they were horrible. So it was days that I wouldn't eat, days that I wouldn't bathe. It was days that my hair wasn't nurtured. I looked like I was neglected, and I most certainly was. So this particular day, I went into a counselor and I just told her that I was hungry, right? And so we had conversation about what I had eaten, where I had been, and I started to explain my life to her. And it was alarming enough that she contacted Child Protective Services. After that happened, myself and my eldest sister were removed from the home a few weeks later and placed in foster care. We both, I don't know what her placement looks like. I couldn't tell you because we went into separate homes. But for me, I was placed with a family pretty far away from where I was. I had a great experience with that family. They took care of me, they nurtured me, and I began to understand the importance of school. So prior to this situation, I would always attend school because that was my way out. That was my way of not having to deal with my home life. So I always wanted to go. I always wanted to be a part of whatever I could, but I don't think that I had the skills that I needed to prior to this interaction with that family. So that family took me in, and they had children of their own, and they taught me the importance of school. So they made sure that we went, they made sure that we had everything that we needed to go, and I enjoyed it immensely. A few months went by, and I was ultimately removed from that environment, erroneously of the courts. My mother decided to go into the court system and protest our permanent placement, and that caused us to be placed back with her. It was a terrible decision made by the courts, but I understand why they did it, because ultimately, most times, court systems think that, you know, the best option for a child is to be with their family. Unfortunately, every child, that's not the story for everyone, and most certainly not for myself or my siblings. So we went back to my mother's care, and we stayed with her for a number of weeks. And after a few months went by, she wound up conceiving my fourth sister, and losing all of the stability she had at that point. So there were so many changes and so many consistent things that as a young child, I may have been, I think I was about 9 or 10-ish, because me and my younger sibling is 10 years apart. Most certainly, if I had not had that interaction with that counselor and didn't have that interaction with the family who showed me the importance of education, I definitely wouldn't be the person that I am today. I learned a lot of values. I learned a lot of morals. I learned a lot of things that I still hold true. And they were one of many people who saw something in me that I myself didn't see. It was very hard, though, to go back into an environment where education was not necessarily the focus, and explain what I had learned and continue with my teachings. So the environment that children grow up in is the determining factor for a lot of advancement or disadvantage, right? It is beyond, it's disheartening. When we look at the structures of certain people's homes and we see what caused their demise, what caused them to be the person they are, you know. Unfortunately, a lot of mental illness stems from early childhood, right? So the years between 1 and 10 are probably the most vital years that a child endures, because they learn so much during the scope of life. They develop personalities, you know, they have the most brain changes between 1 and 5. There is just so many things that happens to a child during those years that you want to protect those years as much as possible and provide some type of stability and hope, with the hopes of growing a happy, healthy child. Now, I'm going to stop there until tomorrow's visit or next week's visit, and we'll go, we'll pick up with additional information with school about what it was like peer interaction. How did I interact with other children, and how were they receptive to me, and how that played into my struggle with social anxiety and adolescent years and preteen years and teenage years. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Please like, share, and follow, you know, all that cool stuff, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching.